My goal is to achieve outcomes that I find to be beneficial or positive. To me, I look at everything from like one direction. Is this moving me closer or farther away from where I want to be? And then I make a decision based off of that. I don't think about whether people respect me. I don't think about whether whether things are fair. I don't think about what's right or wrong. I think about what will get me to where I want to be, and I do that thing. That's it. And sometimes people don't like that. But in my opinion, I think it's worked really well for me.
Asmongold likes to pretend that he knows everything he's talking about, whether that is politics, social issues, video games, or especially World of Warcraft. I mean, of course, he should know about WoW. He played for 20 years, he said so himself. Right? Right?
Yeah, this is rage bait. Okay, no, he's trolling. I don't care. And if he isn't, that's even more pathetic.
In this case, like Asmongold siding with Pirate, and he's dying on the hill with him.
All right. I like Thor. Let's go ahead and look at his situation. Oh, where are these losers getting mad at Thor from? Nothing Pirate Software could have possibly done would have changed the outcome of this fight.
Really? 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 Asmon, I love you, bro, but...
Well, in this video, I'm gonna talk about this entire drama and how he was wrong about literally everything, using his little amount of knowledge to completely spin the situation and make his entire audience think Pirate Software was not in the wrong, even though everyone else in the internet, even people who do not play World of Warcraft, agrees that indeed he was not only wrong about the place, but also he was being unnecessarily rude and should have apologized. Asmongold only cares about his own well-being, about making money, and he will lie to you and spin the truth in order to benefit himself and the people that he can get benefit from, like Pirate Software. Now, what is this drama? What is it all about? What's happening here? Well, a few weeks ago, Mr. Asmongold covered a drama with Pirate Software. He, in hardcore WoW, was in a group with his teammates and essentially left everyone to die so he would survive. Now, obviously, the thing is that he disagrees, which is fine, but the arguments that he uses to disagree with him are completely fabricated and just completely wrong by anyone who knows anything about the game. That being said, doesn't matter because of the way he was able to actually convince everyone in his audience that this was the case. Everyone disagreed with Asmongold. The only person who was in his side was indeed Asmongold. Everyone else said, hey, maybe you should apologize. And I'm not gonna lie, Pirate Software is kind of an asshole. He lied to people, he manipulated the situation to make himself look better when he actually just abandoned all of his teammates, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But you know what's worse than a roach? Whatever Asmongold is, because he self-inserted into the situation to lie about the entire thing in order to defend Pirate Software for no reason other than for views. He spread misinformation about the game, sent haters towards everyone in his team, and as soon as everything was done, didn't defend Pirate Software ever again, just got his views, got his drama, got his rage bait, and left. Now, all this is in my other video where I actually cover this issue, so if you don't know about it, you can go check it out. But I just want to say that nobody agreed with him. The only person who agreed with him was Asmongold, and obviously, as we're going to see now, only because of the fact that he was just wrong about everything. Now, first, we already saw this before, but he starts...
All right, I like Thor. Let's go ahead and look at his situation. Oh, where are these losers getting mad at Thor from?
Already, he's like, oh, I'm gonna actually support this person. Regardless of what I actually know what's happening, I'm just gonna go in here and go talk about how everyone is wrong but him and support him, even though I have no idea what happened. Now he starts actually going through the VOD and seeing what actually happened. What happened here is that they were in a dungeon, in a hardcore dungeon. If they die once, they die forever. This is very, very bad. And if you die, or let other people die, you waste hundreds of hours of progress. Not only that, but you have your own responsibility inside of the group. There's a tank that takes the damage from the enemies. There's a healer who heals the damage from these enemies that the tank gets. There's DPSers who do damage, and at the same time, if something goes wrong, stuns enemies so the wrong person doesn't get damaged by those enemies. And we also have the mage, which was Pirate Software, having the role of not only DPSing, but in case of an emergency, using their cold spells to freeze enemies to slow them down so they don't attack their teammates while they're escaping, or any sort of like height potential so they can kill them while they're not taking damage from them. Now here we go. We're gonna see what he actually talks about in this clip. Now we're gonna see that some enemies that they didn't want to be attacked with have appeared. They have pulled them by mistake towards them, and now they're gonna have to improvise what to do.
We got these little cock boys sitting around starting trouble.
God
Run,
damn
run,
it.
run.
Just run.
Okay,
Keep right
so
I can target them, yeah. Should I do it?
Just kill the massive. Yeah, target them, man. Kill the massives.
No.
Aussie, are you fine?
Any
grenades,
I
anything?
got last stand.
Heal him, heal him, heal him, heal him.
Yeah, you just heal me. Just come back a little bit.
Also on me, sitting bear form.
Snuppy, just run.
I can help a lot. Yep.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why?
This is salvageable. Come on, man.
Innervate you?
Kill the. Kill.
if it was salvageable, you shouldn't have called to run.
All right. So here we have the first big problem, actually. Now, that might sound like something that makes sense, but it doesn't, because in any team game, whenever something goes wrong, you don't just abandon your team. If you're in a D&D campaign, if something goes wrong, you say run, you don't mean, hey, everyone for themselves, just fucking leave instantly and let everyone else to die. If you're in a burning building, if you say run, it doesn't mean trample over your friends, let them die, but you must go first. This would never happen. And you could argue, well, maybe in World of Warcraft this makes sense. It doesn't make sense either. Nobody plays like this in hardcore ever. You can see here a very respectable streamer in the community talking about the issue.
That's like when a group says run, it doesn't mean run. Everyone knows that. If I'm in a 5-man and I'm like, run, boys, that doesn't mean you just sprint out. That means you get everyone out. Everyone knows that. And it seems like a lot of people don't understand that on Twitter. Or you're going to type like, guys, we are dying. Let's make sure we get everyone outside. Like, you write run. Like, now it's time to jet and we're getting everyone out. Yeah, everyone knows that play WoW. I just because I saw some comments on Twitter and people are like, they said run. I'm like, bro.
This is a hardcore game when if you die once, you have to start over. It's not only that, but it's a high team-based game. The people you play with are important. This is why whenever you actually do something bad in this game, you get social consequences. You will not be invited. People will not trust you. People will not play with you, and you will be known as a roach, as a person who cannot be trusted and will indeed abandon their own team. Asmongold talking like this is just normal is completely not true. At the best, ignorance upon a game that he should know better at, and at worst, bad faith and a complete lie.
Like, I mean, I'm going to be honest, you shouldn't have called to run if you thought it was salvageable. So, like, if you go and you say run, he's going to run. And so he used 2 blinks, he turned around, he fucking, look at this
Aussie,
right
are
here.
you fine?
He didn't need to do this. He did this. That's a fucking blizzard. You can see that.
Any grenades?
Because there's a blizzard. So,
Heal him, heal him, heal him, heal him.
Yeah, you just
and
heal
then
me.
he
Just
turned around to blink.
back a little bit.
Obviously,
So
so he
sitting
can
bear
get
form.
away.
Okay, wrong again. He did have to do this. This is his literal job, to come in here and actually slow the enemies. Not doing this, it is exactly what he shouldn't be doing. He needs to do his job for his team. The same as the healer needs to heal the tank for it to defend his other players. The same as a tank can just run away. He needs to tank the enemies so the rest of the team can escape. Not only this, but he actually doesn't show the actual footage of the person here until 48 minutes in. Why did he start? How are you going to defend someone for 48 minutes when you don't even know what he actually did because you didn't see the footage? I'm sorry, but this is completely and utterly bad faith. He's doing this on purpose so you can argue for the person that he actually wants to. You can see right here how he does Blizzard, but instantly cancels it, not letting the cold effect to slow down actually take effect. It only works on one enemy, as it does a little bit of damage there, and then instantly runs away, even though they could have done it again. And honestly, I could argue that he doesn't have mana. He was too close. He could do it again later, but he doesn't. He keeps going and never tries to do it again. Asmongold keeps arguing even though he has no idea about this for 40 minutes.
This was a bad situation to begin with. He is out of mana. Assuming he didn't have a potion, nothing he could have done to change the outcome of this at all.
If he didn't have a potion, yes, he couldn't. How do you know though? You're not watching his gameplay, are you? You're watching the Rose gameplay. Why are you assuming he can't do anything, even without knowing anything at all? Like, you start watching his gameplay 48 minutes in. 48 minutes arguments without knowing any of the actual information. He just ignores it because it's convenient for him.
He could have Nova'd. You're right. He could have Nova'd. He didn't Nova. They called to run. He turned around and he ran. He did a blizzard. Is there something that Thor could have done that may have increased the probability of this person dying? You know what's really funny? Is this mob immune to Nova? Because I bet it is. Because it's a boss, and bosses usually can't be rooted. It is. So it's immune to Nova. Okay, so I guess not.
Wow, what a great argument. Because obviously the boss is what killed them, right? The boss is the important part, right?
The boss isn't what killed him. The boss doesn't matter. The boss is fine. You kill bosses, no problem. Like, you're supposed to kill them. It's the fact that there's a lot of trash. Truth be told, they didn't even need to run. It's just you see all the trash. This is rage bait. Okay, no, he's trolling. I don't care. If he isn't, that's even more pathetic.
Wow. So, okay, that's good. Look at his POV as well. If you want to link it to me, you can link it to me. That's fine.
He says this, not only doesn't talk about all the things that they were setting in chat, the arguments against what he's saying, but also doesn't proceed to watch that VOD for over 48 minutes, and he watches that one time, never again in the entire video. Very convenient.
If somebody calls run, I mean, what I hear is get the fuck out of here. Hearth out, roach out, get the fuck out. Run means run. It doesn't mean retreat. It doesn't mean let's kite back. It doesn't mean, wait a minute, let's see if we can recover this, or run back, hold up, wait a minute. It means wait, run away as much as you can.
This is so insane that he would say this, because any player in World of Warcraft at all would always know that this is just not true. This is not what you do. Even in other video games, guys, if you're playing like Dungeons and Dragons with your friends, right? You're playing Dungeons and Dragons with your friends, and you're in a bad situation, and you say, "Guys, let's run away." Do you think you just leave? Just leave all your friends to die, to lose your loot? You're a team. You play together. You live together. You're playing a video game. This is literally Asmongold in a real life situation.
No, we don't know that. The smoke could be coming through an air duct. Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Okay, we're trapped. Everyone for himself. Okay. Get out of the way. Okay.
In a real situation, even in a video game, you chill out. If you say run, you play as a team to get out of the group, to get the least amount of deaths as you can. You don't say everyone for himself, get the fuck out. Anyone who plays World of Warcraft or any team-based game knows this. Everyone has his own role and his own responsibility. You can't just have anarchy as soon as something goes bad and everyone just starts running like headless chickens. And that's exactly what he will say at the end of the video on how team cohesion is important. But of course, right now, it's not convenient for him, so he will not say this.
They might have been able to do something a little more. Yeah, you're right. They could have done something more. And this is the thing with hardcore WoW. High stress situations cause people to think more about survival and less about optimization. And they break down people's decision-making capabilities. That's what happens. Like, that's why you have like the choke artist. There's literally a vocabulary for this because of how common it is. They tend to overthink the outcome the higher the pressure gets. Yeah, of course, right?
Okay, guys, I want you to remember this clip. I want you to remember that he said that whenever there are high stakes, you can choke. Okay, I want you to remember that because this is going to be very important later because he will come back and say the exact same opposite multiple times whenever it's actually convenient for him. But he's right. There are chokes situations where you can do wrong. But you know what you do after the choke? You say, oh, fuck, I choked. I fucked up because of that. That's it. Like, yeah, of course, everyone choked here. Like, no one's going to say anything else. I had choked. The rogue choked. The druid choked, well, as we're going to see later. Probably the healer is the only one who didn't choke. Everyone made mistakes. That's fine. Yeah, but like, you know, everyone said, I'm sorry. I choked. I did a mistake. Except one person that blamed it on everyone else.
Enough mana to save someone easily. How could Thor have saved Mr. Bear? Go ahead. Let's evaluate this. Let's reverse engineer. How could Thor save Mr. Bear? I'm not an expert and I never claimed to be. Yes, you did. Whenever you try, I am the expert. You're not the expert. You're right. I am. You're wrong. You want to talk about this? I know this. I know what's going on. You're talking shit. You're sitting in here arguing with all up to explain it, and you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Now, Asmongold is very lucky here because the person who he's talking to right now does not know what he's talking about, right? They said the correct thing. Yes, he could have saved someone, but he doesn't know what he's talking about, so he can actually go in there and bully him for not knowing, which honestly, he should have. I mean, he shouldn't have said that if he didn't know how to argument it. But the truth is that, yes, of course, he could have saved someone by slowing him down. He could have saved multiple people. He could have saved everyone. But of course, he doesn't know that, therefore, Asmongold can make his point look even worse, not by actually going through the arguments, but instead just using this person as a punching bag, make his argument look better.
Run was called. That is the message. If I hear run, I run. I don't kite the mobs. I don't root them. I fucking run.
Asmongold is just, I don't even know what he's doing here. He should know, because he plays this game, that certain classes have abilities to run away, certain other ones don't. Druid, you have dash, right, on god form. On mage, you have blink. It literally teleports you around. You also have an invulnerability, ice block, in order to, you know, blink away. Ice block if someone is close to you, and then you wait a little bit and you blink again, and that way you can get away from almost anything. Okay, you have sprint on rogue, which is one of the classes that were playing. You know, they were in the group as well, and you can just sprint away from your enemies. And warrior doesn't have anything. They have charge. You can't use it in combat. Cannot be used in combat, guys. So you can't escape from these enemies. Priest doesn't have anything either, right? Like if you're there, if you're with the mobs, if you're the warrior and the priest, you're fucking done, right? The druid, the rogue, and the mage can literally just sprint out, leave them to die, and they will have no issue. But you don't do that because you're a team. You're supposed to help them.
Yeah, it's a given that you don't want to die. No fucking shit.
All right. What, Yamato? What do you want, man?
Let me say it again.
He already said his piece.
Pirates.
Go on.
You're gonna say it again.
To him because I didn't speak to him correctly. I said it again. We all did mistakes, bro. Like I didn't say.
You all did mistakes. Yes, that's true. Everybody could have done something better, but this isn't like a 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. It's like a 80%, 10%, 10%, 5%, 5%. Let's not fucking pretend like it's some, oh, well, everybody, yeah, we...
Yes, the tank is probably the person who was mostly at fault for the first mistake. Even though everyone could have called that there was that the boss was coming and everyone could have reacted, the tank did the mistake himself. Yes, but mistakes happen. This is not a perfect world. What happens after a mistake happens, after one bad pull happens, after something that shouldn't happen happens, you continue and you try to salvage the situation.
People are bound to mess up. Mistakes are bound to happen. A bad pull always will happen. That's World of Warcraft. You'll never be able to play WoW and have 0 bad pulls. You'll never be able to play the game and have 0 double pulls and 0, oh crap, we accidentally pulled the pat. Like that's just bound to happen. Okay, so under the assumption that that is going to happen, there's no avoiding that. Then the second thing is when that happens, not if, but when that happens, who chokes and who clutches up. That second point is usually what I look at. The second point, not the first. The first is bound to happen. It's inevitability. But the second point is when the mistake happens, when the extra pack pulls, when the boss pulls, when chaos ensues, which is guaranteed to be the case at some point. That's why hardcore is fun, by the way, because you just play the game and crazy stuff happens. It's why it's fun. When that happens, who chokes and who clutches up?
To pretend like the fault of all this is one person's fault, the tank, just because he made one mistake at the start, yes, it is true it wouldn't have happened, but everything after that has responsibility upon other people. The druid for pulling more enemies in the middle of the run by mistake, the rogue for not playing correctly and actually not stunning the ads while they were walking so they wouldn't kill their healer, and of course the mage for not slowing down anyone and letting people die instead. So yes, it could be said that 90% goes for a tank at the start, but the more time passes, the fault starts distributing. The healer honestly did nothing wrong. The tank, probably 40% wrong for causing the situation in the first place. The druid, 30% for the actual pull of those ads. The rogue, 5% for not optimizing their gameplay perfectly to help a little bit. And honestly, 25% for the mage to completely run out without doing anything to try and save your friends. And let's not pretend here, it doesn't even matter about the fault. I think everyone would rather play with a player who will actually try their best for you and your team, that is completely dog trash at the game, than a player who will instantly leave as soon as something goes wrong, but is a great player. So honestly, I don't even care about the faults here. I care about the information I get from this player abandoning their teammates.
Vast majority of the blame here. I do not think that there's anything that Thor could have done to have changed the outcome of that fight.
This is again wrong. Asmongold should know that mages are very, very powerful and can do a lot in order to save people. You can see this in this clip where someone better, obviously, than Parasofter, in a worse situation, as you can see here, with less mana and less resources, does way better of a job than him and saves everyone.
I'm calling. Give me a shield when you can. Run, 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 run.
This is how it's done. This is how it's done. You make the call. Look, we need to get out. You're the mage. You help everyone get out. This is how it's done. But once again, I'm just going to say it again. Are we really going to hold Pirate to the standard of someone like Ampy? Like, are we, like, if someone is a mage starting the game, whatever, are you going to hold them to the standard of Ampy? Like, that's not a fair thing to necessarily do. But that's all Pirate had to say. Look, I should have done this. I'm sorry.
And this is right. He's not that good of a player, even though he has played for 7 years, according to him. He just had to apologize. And Asmongold does not know about this at all. He's pretending like he knows when he doesn't. And he's also not getting the point of the issue at all. And not only this, Parasofter himself disagrees with you, Asmongold.
We've lost a lot of tanks, man. Yeah. Like, I've watched it. Like, Jay Beasy died the other day. That was rough.
That was sad. As a mage player, that was sad to watch from two mages in a group. I'm gonna be honest.
It made me physically unwell. Yeah.
Yeah. It made me feel like I was a decent mage player, knowing that I probably would have done a lot more.
Like, there were no sheeps going out. There were no blizzards going out. Apparently, he didn't have the spec for blizzard for slows, but, like, that's exactly why I run that spec. Because, like, when shit goes sideways, you save lives, man.
Oh, 100%. And blizzard is, like,
yeah,
absolutely goated. It's so good.
All right, then let's continue.
So that boss has, I believe, 23,000 health. Is that correct? 47,000. There is no way you could have killed him. Was it Fingus? Oh, was it Fingus? I got it wrong. Okay.
He doesn't even know which boss we're at. Are you telling me that this is the expert? This is insane.
Okay, still 47,000. Sod is 47, normal's 23. Wait, what? Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know. I remember him having 23,000 health. Thor had 2x, Nova and Kona.
Well, there you go. He doesn't know, guys. Don't talk about things you have no idea about. I had to make this research in order to make this video. If you don't know, why are you talking about this? Start talking like you know exactly what it is, the exact number. But as soon as you get called out, like, dude, you don't have to know everything. You can research something, okay? Like, you don't have to like have an opinion about everything. And the fact that you would need to pretend like you do tells me that I cannot trust on anything you would ever say about any topic, especially World of Warcraft. That is supposed to be your area of expertise. Who knows what other lies you're gonna tell in other topics that you have no idea about. And again, nobody's saying that the boss is the problem. We're saying that the ads were the problem. Now let's move to the next thing.
Let me ask you, if there is a pack that's on the other side, because if you go to Dire Mall, there is an ogre pack here, and there's an ogre pack over here. He was in the wrong position.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed?
Kill the master.
What are you doing over there? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're choking.
Wow, choking, just like what you said previously, was completely okay because you're in a high stress situation.
You're right. They could have done something more. And this is the thing with hardcore WoW. High stress situations cause people to think more about survival and less about optimization. They break down people's decision-making capabilities. Choke artists, there's literally a vocabulary for this.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right. He is choking. He's making a mistake. When he's a new player that has never played this game before, by the way, even though Thor, Power Software, has played this game for 7 years, allegedly, great idea to blame this person that is actually on the team trying to help.
You're choking and you're fucking up.
Use Nova, bro. Come on.
Kill the mastiffs. We got this.
Actually, maybe he just... Wait, did he just jump? We're watching this guy right here. Watching him. He jumped. He jumped. And so, anyway... yeah. And it was knockback. I don't think it was knockback. So the reason why I don't think that it was a knockback is because he didn't take damage. And also his legs moved up. And if you get knocked back, you get knocked in a direction. So he didn't take any damage. There wasn't a sound and his legs moved. That wasn't a knockback. I guarantee you that if you take a level 60 and you put a level 60 in that position right there, you aggro the other pack. I promise you. I will bet you $1 million. You put a level 60 on that pack, right there, you aggro them.
This is right. And this is actually, finally, we have something that is actually true. That jump was a mistake. That is completely right. And this actually, Snoopy there, he continues to play the game and pulls a number pack that actually kills the healer. This is actually true. That being said, nobody's saying that he didn't make mistakes. You're missing the point. Snoopy said, I'm sorry for pulling the pack.
Me as well. There's probably so many things I could have done there, and I think maybe I body pulled like the first
No, that was
like
me. You didn't
hyenas. But like it's when the boss approached. I tried saying the boss is coming, but that boss walks really fast, man, and he was just on us in no time. It is what it is, though. Like, I don't think we should like blame anyone for like. It's just not. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, that's
I feel sorry, guys. Like, if I was like some fucking rank 1 rogue, I would have found a way to maybe save one of you guys. But I have like no fucking idea. I don't know. I tried my best till the end, but I can't.
You can't Nova the boss, but you can Nova the fucking.
Yeah,
Mastiff,
that's my
sure.
point. If it's just the boss, if it's just.
Yeah, I just want to say.
That's your take, bro.
No, I take responsibility for that. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, obviously people could play better, but he is our guild enchanter, and I just feel bad that Snuppy and Sarah died because I would have died if they didn't turn around.
The tank said, I'm sorry for pulling the boss. And the rogue said, I'm sorry for not playing perfectly. Nobody cares. Nobody's saying this. Nobody cares. You're talking to no one. Nobody trying to pretend like this is an actual issue, so your chat actually agrees with you, is just completely and utterly wrong.
Snuppy. He got the first Frostbolt because he had aggro. Because you choked. Not only did you not follow through with running out,
Wrong. They did. They were all running out. The mage is very far away because he has blinks that he can use to get away faster than literally anyone else. They're all running out. Wrong.
You stood in the wrong place.
That is true. He did start in the wrong place, but he choked. Just like what you said earlier was okay in a high stress situation.
You choked and randomly jumped away for no reason. You aggroed a third pack, and you caused not only yourself, but also your healer to die because you couldn't even hold aggro while you were running out.
Snoopy's not the tank. He's a DPSer. This is not... You can literally see with the shield here, the warrior is the tank. You literally don't know which roles are for each person. This is not the DPS responsibility to hold aggro.
We're going to watch it in slow motion. So where's Sarah? Sarah sacrificed themselves so the rest of their team could survive. Thor ran out when run was called. This rogue is just doing rogue things. He's not really at fault or doing anything right. He's just doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Remember that. Remember, he says that rogue didn't do mistakes. Remember that part.
He's basically doing what Thor is doing, but he's just doing it closer to them because he has sprint. And he also has a vanish as well, you can see on his bar. The only person here who should have died is the druid. Luckily, the druid did die. And then also, look at what he just tried to do. He just tried to blind the guard. Do you know why it doesn't work? Because the guard is immune to CC, which is the same reason why Pirate isn't wrong. See how blind just went on cooldown? He's immune.
He's right about this. It is immune. This was a mistake. And this person later on says, yes, it was a mistake. Boom. Look how easy it is. That was it. Boom. You're missing the point again. Nobody cares about the fault of who did something wrong. They care about the accountability of the people who did something wrong.
Ozzy was the tank? Well, then why is this guy doing 7 DPS?
Why do you think a druid that is actually escaping with their teams is actually doing 70? Why do you think? Because they're escaping. They don't want to get aggro from the boss, from the enemies that the tank is tanking. The more damage you do, the more aggro you get. The more possibilities you have to die when the tank should be the one who's actually tanking the enemies. Also, he died. There's been like 10 seconds of him being dead. Of course, DPS is going to be low. And Pirates is lower. It's a 2. What are you even saying at this point? After this, he starts talking to the rogue. He comes into chat. He asks to be let into voice, but he doesn't let him because he knows that if he goes into voice, he's going to be able to explain himself and say why he's actually wrong.
Okay, let me ask you a better question. This would be an easy one for you. Why did you try to blind the boss? He slaps the dogs in the face and he sprinted out. The rogue made the right decision. The rogue did exactly what Thor did, but the rogue knew that he had vanish and he had other escapes, so he could afford to play closer.
Wrong. The mage had ice block. The mage had mana. The mage had blink. Ice block makes you invulnerable. Blink lets you teleport. All the things that the rogue had, the mage had more. And also, he had more to do to save their teammates. The rogue, even though he didn't, and he was worse, and he's a new player, stood there trying to help until the very end. Even if this meant that he maybe would die. Because guess what? Running fast is not the same as teleporting away. If you get dazed by one of the enemies, which you definitely could have, your running away speed is going to be slower, and you're going to get caught. A blink doesn't do that, especially when you have an invulnerability.
Thor didn't have that opportunity because he couldn't play closer like that. Damn, it's taking a bit.
Also, guess what? Yeah, he couldn't play because of that, but he could have played ranged. He's a ranged mage. You can freeze people around you because he's ranged. He doesn't even have to be close.
My final try to save our tank, even though I only knew that it's not going to work, but in the end, I did save the tank. The main reason I got upset is the mage is how he hasn't tried anything to save the group. We were all in Discord and all apologized to each other, so he refused to talk to us and just basically said that we're all stupid. Well, what would you call jumping? So if you're a feral druid and you randomly decide to jump into another pack of mobs, what word would you use to describe that? It'd be way easier talking to voice because it's not worth it. It was about what's done in the game and how people acted and reacted, and he definitely reacted the worst. He reacted the worst because you were trying to apply a shared accountability when there was no shared accountability. Who made the call to run? Who was it? Snuppy wants to talk? Okay, well, I speedrun that. Unbind spacebar. Turn your monitor on. Conversation's over. I'm not going to talk to some moron that doesn't know how to pay attention to aggroing other mobs. I don't want to debate with you about this. I can watch the fucking screen. I played the game for 20 years. You fucked up. It's obvious that you fucked up. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you try to fucking do mental gymnastics about why it's not your fault that you jumped into another pack of mobs.
Nobody's saying it's not his fault. He would say the same thing. You're missing the point again. What is important is the accountability about the mistakes that were made.
It's a waste of my fucking time. It's a waste of everybody's time. The third mistake was saying to run, which we had to, but we still could stick together. Well, we could still stick together. So who made the call? So you said to run. So that is that right? So you were the one that said to run. Without giving a chance for me to talk is insane cringe. When did I say it wasn't my fault? No. I'm not trying to say it wasn't your fault. That you weren't trying to say it wasn't fault. All I'm trying to say it is primarily your fault.
And again, look at this. This is the rogue. He's saying that it is his fault. Just previously, we heard he's saying that the rogue didn't do anything wrong.
Rogue is just doing rogue things. He's not really at fault or doing anything right. He's just doing what he's supposed to be doing. The rogue made the right decision.
Is he confusing with the druid? Is he confusing it with the warrior? He obviously doesn't know what he's talking about.
Like, this idea that it's everyone's fault, this is a euphemism that you're creating to displace accountability away from yourself. You made a bad call, and your tank was too stupid to zoom his camera out, and he aggroed a third pack.
Again, the third pack was not pulled by the tank, it was pulled by the druid, a DPSer. Again, wrong with everything he's talking about. Not only that, he didn't do the wrong call. The rogue said to run from the start. The tank started making directions on how to run away while doing damage, while slowing down the enemies, while protecting their teammates. The person you're calling that said the wrong call, according to yourself, did the right call. And the only reason why you don't know this is because you don't know what you're talking about.
That's where the faults are. The healer didn't fuck up. Pirate didn't fuck up. And you as a player didn't fuck up either until you decided to blind the boss that's immune to blind.
Okay, now he recovers. Okay, good. No, he has... I don't know why everything he said before makes no sense, considering the fact that... I guess now he realizes that this is indeed the rogue, and he actually didn't fuck up. Crazy.
How is it my fault? You called for people to run. If somebody says run, what I hear is I'm going to get the fuck out of the instance as fast as I can. And for you to say that he didn't stick with you means that you didn't see the fact that he turned around and he tried to Blizzard to save you guys as he was going down the ramp.
Once cancelled it and then ran away, roached completely, letting everyone else die. That's the problem. Again, obfuscating the actual problem for their own sake.
Pirate software blizzarded to try to stop the mobs. Why do you think he tried to do that? Why do you think that happened? He didn't? I can pull up the VOD if you want. For half a second? Yes, because you Blizzard... The goal of Blizzard is to apply the slowing debuff. That's the goal of Blizzard. I'll show you.
Heal him. Yeah,
See?
just heal me. Just come back a little bit.
And do you want to know why he stopped? It's because the boss that was immune to slow popped up immune and he ran.
Not only he uses the example when he's not even watching on the mage POV, But he actually fabricates this immune story. Oh, yes, no, he stopped because he saw that the boss was immune, guys. You can see right here. You can't see this in the screen. Look. Where's the immune? Where's it? Did you see it? Because I didn't. Because it doesn't exist. Stop this Blizzard because he got cold feet. Because he is scared of dying like everyone else in this party and couldn't even use Blizzard and stay with it even though there's a big distance and he has Blink ready to go because he doesn't care and made a mistake. You can see that it only hit one hyena right here, one enemy, and then instantly left. This Blizzard did nothing. If he would have stayed for one more second there, he could have even killed that hyena while also slowing down everyone else. Asmongold made this up because he knows that this is not right and that his argument has no legs to stand on. He did it on purpose in order to make his side look better, even though he has no evidence of this happening. What do you guys think? He doesn't even change to watch the actual footage. He then proceeds to talk about the entire thing and then finally arrives again for a last time to the actual mage POV.
Run.
Just run. Can you target dummy?
Run. And now let me guess, you're going to get mad at him because he was running?
I can target him, yeah. Should I do it?
Oh, and guess what? As soon as they say run, while they're running all together, they start giving instructions for the actual shot caller, not this person that said run, by the way, because they're not the shot caller, giving instructions on how to run away using the target dummy. So the dummy gets attacked instead of themselves.
Just kill the massive. Yeah, target dummy. Kill the massives.
Killing one enemies because they have lower health, so they can use this to run away easier.
Any grenades, anything.
You can just
heal him.
Yeah, you just heal me. Just come back a little bit.
Boss is on me, sitting bear form.
Snappy, just run.
I can help a lot. Yeah.
All those are instructions to run away. None of them, hey, we're gonna kill this. Nobody's saying, hey, commit back. They're saying, hey, let's run away together. Let's do this to make it easier and make everyone survive. That is exactly what that means. And if you're a WoW player, and honestly, if you're a normal player of anything, you would understand this instantly because it is that obvious.
The mobs were not the problem. It was the boss. The boss is going to do most of the damage.
Wrong. I don't even have to explain why. Whoever already talked about this. This is literally just a lie. Nobody that knows anything about this game would ever agree with this. He should know better. And he's either insanely ignorant about this game or a complete liar.
Boss is easy to drag. Mobs are a damage problem. Nova would not aggro the boss and stank and healer. No, because he called to run.
As soon as he gets called out for something that is indeed wrong, he changes the topic instantly, saying, oh, he called to run. Even though that is exactly what they're doing, obfuscating the problem again for his own benefit. Moving the goalpost from, well, they couldn't do anything to, oh, no. They could do something, but they shouldn't have done because they had to run.
If you call for people to run, and then you try to blame them because they ran, you made the wrong call. You called to run, they ran, now you're blaming them for listening to your call because you don't know what you're doing. That's the truth. You can't even read correctly. I come call. You want me to call you. You really, really, really want me to call you. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to call you and have you do mental gymnastics about why it's not your fault that you made a bad call, and then you're blaming somebody for not listening to it.
He's not going to call him because he knows that if he does, he's going to look like a dumbass that doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explain what happened, and then we're going to move on. Because we've gone through this like 3 or 4 times. You said run. And then he blinks because you said run. I would have done the exact same thing. If I was in a run and we had not only one accidental pull, but also accidentally pulled the boss, and you were the mage, would you have blinked away?
Again, obfuscating the problem. Blinking is not an issue. Blinking wants to take some distance and start helping. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that he blinks, doesn't do anything, then blink again, wastes his mana, and do it again. Like, it's just no. That doesn't do anything. That's the problem. Obfuscating and be like, oh my god, I can't believe they will get so mad at him blinking once. Nobody's saying this. No one ever. Not one person. Stop lying to yourself and to your audience.
The massives can be Ice Novas. Oh,
I'm dead. Goes to quick sprint.
Sora?
Oh. And you can see, obviously, like, there's no blind that's done. There's nothing like that. He's not trying to maybe build combo points to stun any of the mobs. He's not really doing anything. He's just running away like a bot, like he's complaining about Thor doing.
Now, okay, now it is important to see the ads. I see it. Okay, perfect. Now that is not the major's responsibility and you can blame it on someone else. Now, this is the moment that you actually acknowledge that, yes, it is important to see the mobs. Great job there. Now, this is correct, actually. He could have done a lot of things here. He could have helped with some gauges to stun some of the enemies. He could have built combo points to kill some of the to stun some of the enemies as well. And he didn't. This was a mistake. Yes, you're right. But guess what? You probably agree with that and be like, yeah, I'm sorry. I fucked up. I didn't do it correctly. I could have even saved you guys. I'm sorry. Or at least one. He definitely was. But you know what? At least he was there. At least he was trying. Even as a melee.
If everybody had run out of the instance like you had called, and you didn't second guess yourself, nobody would have probably died. You made the right call at the beginning, and then you second guessed yourself, and you caused people to die.
No point they decided to go and stop running and kill the enemies. Obviously, you want less enemies while you're running away. And you could argue that eventually they could have changed it. They could have savaged it. The entire time they were running while doing this. They can't abandon their teammates because they don't have the same ability. The rogue can do a little bit, and he stayed anyways there trying to help as much as he could, even if he was not the perfect player.
Aussie, are you good?
Just run out.
Are you good, Aussie?
The boss came not like this.
Why would Pirate Software do that? How dare he do what he was told to do? It's not worth the risk. Exactly. But he didn't take accountability. Oh God, some people, man. What do you say? What do you do?
Again, missing the point completely.
Explain to me whose fault this was. So why is it Pirate Software's fault that he listened to the call from the person leading the group? Why did it happen? Why is that his fault?
This is actually a very good strategy. Posing a question that is completely missing the point, so there's no way you can actually answer correctly. You're getting led into actually answering in exactly what they want you to answer.
It's the group's fault the situation happened? Okay. What percentage from each player do you think its fault is?
Again, with the percentage is not relevant because it's not about the fault of the gameplay. It's about the lack of accountability. It could be 1%. If it's 1%, they should apologize for the 1%. It is not, by the way, but even then, this would be indeed wrong.
Why don't you think about it, right? So, like, if you want to say it's the group's fault, sure. And I'm sure that there are small things that Pirate Software could have done that would have maybe reduced the chance of something bad happening. Of course. Everybody can always play better. But to use that as an excuse to blame him for what happened, to equate making a call and then standing there and not listening to the call, jumping away, aggroing a third pack, to say that that's the same thing as maybe he could have done a Frost Nova, and this is, by the way, after you called for him to run away. This is outrageous.
Nobody's saying that it is all his fault. Nobody said that ever, not once. And again, missing the point of the run again.
So one thing that I've learned that people that play MMOs in competitive, especially group environments, are absolutely allergic to, they have a phobia of, transphobia, homophobia, I don't know, like arachnophobia. People have accountability phobia. If you cannot accurately evaluate why a problem happened, you cannot prevent that problem from occurring in the future, because you need to accurately and correctly assess why exactly something happened in order to figure out how to prevent it from happening in the future.
True, that's actually true. But guess what? They did take accountability. Everyone here took accountability. But there's also something else that needs to be taken accountability. Not only the start of the mistake, but also the way that a mistake that can happen can be savaged. If you make a mistake, you can't just give up. Oh, it's over. There's nothing to do. No, you savage. You fix the problem. And here, what we're asking for Power Software to make is a concession that he could have indeed done something about this. Could have fixed the problem. He should take accountability. He should not have accountability phobia of what he could have done to fix this.
And if you say everybody's at fault, this is a platitude that's being put forward so you can make yourself feel good. It's not useful. It's not helpful. It's not constructive. It's just meant to displace accountability because people don't want to hold fault. It's about reacting to the situation. So I simply disagree with your analysis that he could have done nothing. I don't think that anything he could have done could have changed the outcome. I think that he could have done something, but he couldn't have done anything to change the outcome.
Well, we established why this is completely untrue. Everyone disagrees with him. Everyone in the community disagrees with him. Every person that knows anything about this game disagrees with him. This is not correct. And this person, Dave E, is right.
You're wrong. No, I understand this game better than anybody. When a group leader calls to make a decision, you make that decision.
They did.
One of the worst things to do is to have a group that doesn't listen to calls.
True. Power Software didn't listen to the call. He roached instead of actually running with the team.
A call was made. You need to execute that call, even if you think that it's salvageable.
True. That is completely true. And guess what? Power Software didn't.
That's the big issue. I've been playing the game for 20 years. These dogs got them killed, not the boss. The reason why the dogs got them killed...
Oh, so now the dogs did get him killed. Not dogs did it, not the boss. Wow, that's crazy. You're changing your mind as soon as you get called out by someone who actually knows about the game. Great stuff.
Is because Sarah had to stop to heal because the druid and the tank were stopping to fight.
They were not stopping to fight. They're taking aggro. They're trying to kite away with the ads. They're trying to kite away with the boss. They are not a mage. They can't. They need to run away slowly. And guess what? They can't run away if the ads are not slowed. If they were slowed, they actually would have been able to run away and not having to slowly kite them.
That's the reason why. Sarah was far enough away to where they could have run out without having the dogs hit them. You stopped moving. There is no reason for that to have happened. And if you've been playing the game for 20 years, like I don't even... I can't. Yeah, you ran out together. He did.
Nope, he didn't.
Perspective of the rogue, immediate red button. And says in a beef that after the fact, he isn't the shot caller because he doesn't know the game. Pirate says the shot caller said to run, and he says, I'm not the shot caller. That's fine. Well, whoever the shot caller is, as soon as somebody makes a call, you have to execute that call.
Nope. That is not right. If someone panics and says a call, and then instantly the actual leader of the group starts doing the call, you listen to the leader, not to this random-ass guy. This makes no sense whatsoever. But of course, now he has been called out for it. Ah, now the opinion changes. Yes.
You need to do that. Because if you do not have group cohesion, you will fail.
The only person who did not have a group cohesion was the mage, was Power Software. Everyone else was together executing the call. Otherwise, why would he be so far away?
You're not playing with them. I'm not saying you should be flamed for it. I just don't agree for it's correct for a mage to run like that. I think what you're saying can make sense, but it actually doesn't when you break it down in like a functional way. So I'll give you an example. Basically what happens is that, let's say you make a call to run. Okay. Well, if everybody's running out, then you're going to have people that are using their potions for speed. You're going to have people that are going to use their cooldowns to move themselves to another area because the call has just been made to leave the group or to get the fuck out, to blink. Yes, exactly. And so as soon as you make a call, you tell people effectively, invest your resources and your tools into executing this action. And once those tools and resources have been executed into performing that action, in some cases, not all cases, they cannot be reinvested into a secondary outcome afterwards. That's why making a call is so important, and being able to assess situations quickly is very important too. And then change. Yes, you can't go back and change it back and forth.
You can't. You're right. You shouldn't be changing it back. Although, sometimes things change. Sometimes situations change. The game changes. You have to make a decision in the middle of it, and you have to abandon a call as long as everyone does it together. But guess what? He didn't stay with the call. You could argue that he's, he misunderstood the call, but that is a misunderstanding of him, not of the actual leader making a mistake by doing that call. That is the problem of the mage misunderstanding the call, which you could have that if you're very inexperienced, but Pirate isn't. And also, if you do, it is your responsibility to say, I misunderstood, my bad.
Okay, but the call out to run 100% the tank dies, he has no out at all. The slow from the dog secured his fate. For sure, that's what happens whenever a mistake happens. Yeah, there's always a chance that people can die when you're running out.
Oh, what a great... Oh, he's so manipulative. It is actually insane. Look at that. He gets called out. He realizes you're right. Oh, fuck, he's right. Okay, well, let's change it up. Let's recapitulate a little bit what happened here. First, well, it wasn't his fault. Well, maybe it was his fault, but it was everyone's fault, and it's not productive to think that way. And they couldn't have done anything anyways. Well, maybe he could have done something, but he would have only helped with the ads. The boss killed them. Oh, well, the boss didn't matter. The mobs killed them. It was because they weren't running. Oh, they were running, but they were going to die anyways. And there's nothing you can do. That is exactly what happened. Every time moving the goalpost one step further in order to ignore every one of the arguments they're actually saying. How is it possible that the tank literally is alive? Right now, he didn't die, guys. He didn't die. He's alive. He's right here. So which one is it? It's impossible for the tank to actually survive, and you have to accept some deaths, or you can actually salvage the situation and actually run away. Which one is it, Asmongold?
And also, by the way, there would have been a higher probability that the tank would have survived if everybody had committed to running.
The tank did survive.
Away. Because Sarah and Snuppy would have been able to both heal the tank as he was running out. But the problem is that you guys stayed still and didn't maintain max range, and instead jumped around and aggroed a third pack. And that would have caused... So if you had healed Ozzy, this is what would have happened. Ozzy probably would have maintained aggro on a couple of the mobs, but the other mobs would have run to you.
Wow, you're telling me that there's a reason why they keep attacking while they're moving? To keep aggro? Because if you heal the tank, they actually lose the aggro, and then the enemies will start attacking the healer. So there's a reason why you actually attack while you're moving. There's a reason why run doesn't mean run, and instead it means run while you're kiting the mobs. That's what you're telling me, Asmongold? That's crazy.
Maybe it would have helped. Maybe it could have gotten resisted. Maybe it could have gotten Thor aggro. Maybe it could have caused the mobs to get rooted, and then they would have hit Sarah because the tank was out of range. There could have been 50 other things that a route like that could have happened. It's very risky. It's extremely risky. And so I understand, like, it's something that seems like a good idea. It sounds like a good idea, but you're looking at it at the best case scenario without thinking about the outcomes that could occur from that action that would be negative as well. Because it's all about, hardcore WoW is all about managing risk. It's not about getting to 100% risk aversion. It's about getting to as close to 100% risk aversion as possible. And sometimes when bad things happen, people need to be sacrificed. That's what happens. Like, you might not want to say that. It might not sound good, but it's true.
It is true. Sometimes things happen. You're right. But in this case, that wasn't true. The tank didn't die. The mage didn't die. The rogue didn't die. Only 2 people died. And the only reason why they died is because the mage didn't help.
Issue with hardcore WoW is not being able to respond when bad things happened? No, they did respond.
People are bound to mess up. Mistakes are bound to happen. A bad pull always will happen. That's World of Warcraft. You'll never be able to play WoW and have 0 bad pulls. You'll never be able to play the game and have 0 double pulls and 0 oh crap, we accidentally pulled the pat. Like, that's just bound to happen. When that happens, not if, but when that happens, who chokes and who clutches up? That second point is usually what I look at. The second point, not the first. The first is bound to happen. It's inevitability. But the second point is when the mistake happens, when the extra pack pulls, when the boss pulls, when chaos ensues, which is guaranteed to be the case at some point. Okay, what now?
If everybody had followed the original call to run, none of this would have happened. And I bet they probably, at least Sarah wouldn't have died.
He already admitted that the tank would have died. So, okay, let's say that Sarah wouldn't have died. So let's say it would have been at Snoopy and the warrior. So, okay, so literally the same outcome. Great.
The best rogue at the moment is disagreeing with you as well. That's fine. Anybody can disagree with me if they want. But I think that, again, if you call to run out, you should expect for people to run out.
He even says it there. The best rogue in the entire game is disagreeing with him. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't care about what he has to say. He says, no, yeah, we can disagree. Yeah, the people that are doing these arguments are not stupid. They're not unknowledgeable of the game. We can just disagree. Even though before they were calling them retards. Yeah, very, very nice. Because he doesn't care what's actually right. He doesn't care what's actually correct. Where he's wrong, he just cares about looking like he's right and gaslighting his entire chat into believing that he's actually right with no real arguments and only lies.
Yeah, and also, like, I don't really see the logic here. Yamato's, like, desperately trying to defend himself with this, but the truth is that you did nothing for the entire time. You're actually probably the only person that could have done something that mattered, and you didn't. Rogue is just doing rogue things. He's not really at fault or doing anything right. He's just doing what he's supposed to be doing. You could have built combo points on the main boss with evasion because you had it up, and you didn't do that. And you could have stunned the boss because the boss was stunnable. And that was evident because Ozzy was able to war stomp the boss. The rogue made the right decision.
Again, not giving any sort of good faith towards Yamato, even though he did say that he fucked up, even though he himself says that people can choke up. No, this is actually worse because this person is against me. This person fucked up harder, and their choke is way more important than the obvious choke than who am I defending Parasofter had.
So if you really want to get down to, and this is the problem, right? If you really want to get down to individual faults and like if everybody played perfectly in hindsight, what are we even talking about? It's not even remotely close.
Trying to imply that it is all the rogue's fault, which it isn't, and he has admitted himself that the fault is actually from the druid and the tank.
A lot of people just don't really understand how to make decisions in high-stress situations and high-tension situations. I've done raid leading for over 10 years. I know what it takes in order to make the right calls. And when a call is made and you know that that call needs to happen and everybody needs to act unilaterally, you execute on that call, even if it's the wrong call, because group cohesion is more important than whatever your perceived best idea is. If everybody started doing that, you wouldn't have a team.
What? So you're telling me that group cohesion is important? That not doing something by yourself is important? That not roaching out of the dungeon as fast as possible is important?
That's why I raid led for years. That's why I was in a cutting edge guild. And yeah, that's why whenever I made WoW videos, my videos were the most popular. It's because I know the most about the game. I know how it works. I know how to play it. I know how to succeed. That's why I succeeded for so many years. That's it. Rogue is dumb. Druid is dumb. The other people, yeah, sure, they could have done something a little bit better, but overall, it's the Rogue and Druid's fault.
It's the Rogue and Druid's fault, because that's who he doesn't like. Tank, he fucked up at the start, and he admittedly at the start says that it's 90% his fault, or 70%, I don't remember the number. But now that he doesn't like this person, now it is mainly his fault, even though the Rogue didn't really do anything wrong, actually. And he has, in the middle of the video, he has said multiple times that there's nothing he could have done wrong. because now he doesn't like him. And now he has to make him someone that looks stupid, because otherwise his entire argument doesn't make sense. And there you go. That's the video. That's everything he said. Other than that, I think at some point he says like, oh yeah, it's okay for him to get kicked out of the guild. You know, it makes sense because, you know, what else are you gonna do? It's just too many problems. But he never actually retracts what he said. He never actually makes an apology for everything of the misinformation he actually talked about. He has nothing else to say. Which I think is very, very sad, because at the end of the day, everybody knows that he's wrong. Everybody in the community knows he's wrong. But because he's in an echo chamber with all of his viewers, it's not needed, right? You don't need to apologize. You don't need to tell the truth. You can just keep doubling down, just like Pirate Software did. And that's why this video was very, very important for me. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I've been there before for the same reason in other videos as well, in the Ember arc. But sometimes you gotta do what's right. And I really don't like the fact that somebody that I used to watch a lot, somebody that I used to like a lot, that made me really invest a lot of time into World of Warcraft and made me collect almost every mount until BFA, and also someone that honestly contributed a lot into me quitting the game because of actual good arguments he had about World of Warcraft. Now he's doing this kind of content, he's doing this type of damage to the community, to the internet, and to everyone that consumes his content. And it really, really makes me very, very sad. And that's why I felt so strongly about this, and I think someone needed to do it. Nobody else did it, actually. I think the only person that actually called him out a little bit was Ampy and Jokered. Soda, for sure he did. He didn't really comment too much into it. He was like, you know, like, this guy is stupid as fuck, blah, blah, and he just moved on, which is honestly important, you know, it's good. But nobody really made a little bit of a compilation about this entire thing, and nobody really kind of is calling him out for how stupid he is in this regard. I understand a lot of people are doing it because of politics, and I think that's completely fine as well. But I think it's also important to say that, hey, you know, like, this person not only doesn't know about those things, but also doesn't know about video games. And honestly, politics is kind of hard to talk about. It's hard to be like, hey, this is wrong because of this, because we already have their teams. They're not going to listen to you. It's such a more complicated issue. Something like World of Warcraft, something like a video game that, you know, especially classic, that has been sold for many, many years. It's way easier to actually call out someone for being completely wrong about something. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, even if he apologizes about this, I'm not sure if I'm gonna believe him. Last time, he also apologized for the whole, like, Palestine, Israel, like, comment. And he said that he would be more careful about lying and not knowing what he's talking about. But he obviously doesn't care. He obviously will continuously do this only in order to make more money and have more views. And I think it's very, 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 very sad. He always says that you should never, ever apologize as a content creator, even if you're wrong, and you should just continue. It is very incredible to me that even though he says this, he's the first one to apologize whenever he gets called out for something, says that it's going to change, and then doesn't do it and continuously do the same thing as always been doing. So I'm very, very sad about it. I really hope this video helps some people understand why this is important and why you shouldn't honestly trust them at all. And honestly, even though I said that I wouldn't believe him if he did apologize, I will also say that I will be very happy if he actually does change his behavior. Like, at the end of the day, Asmongold, if you're actually watching this video, there are more important things that, you know, getting a bob in your YouTube career, in your Twitch or anything. Okay, it's more important to be a positive thing for the world. And I understand you don't care. Caring is good. Caring is nice. Caring about things, making things better for everyone is a good thing. It's not something people should be ashamed of. It's something that we should celebrate. Just like your favorite characters in other video games would do. Tyrion Fordring wouldn't, like, stay here and fucking lie in order to get someone that he likes into a better position and get, you know, better collabs, did. He would go in, he would see that his friend or whatever made a mistake, he would say you did, and then he would continuously support him and, you know, try and help him. That's what he would do. That's what every good character in any video game would do. And I'm being a bit cheesy now. I know it. I get it. But sometimes you gotta. This world is way, 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 way too cynical right now. And you know what? I'm kind of tired of it. I like caring about things. I like helping the world be a better place. And that's what I want to do. And I think you should do it too. And I think everyone can change into that as well. Even someone like Asmongold. That being said, that's it. It was good. Good video. I'm very proud of it. Subscribe to the channel. Support me if you can, if you want. Blah, blah, blah. Go to my Twitch. Watch me live. See you guys around. Bye.